Access here, and today we are gonna see about the review of Expedition 33. And let's talk about its pros and cons. I think let's start with the pros. The game has amazing music. Like, music is the most notable part of this game, and followed by its graphics. Like, many of the graphics in the game is very detailed and very nice, but at the same time it has its caveat, making the game harder to run. So you have to deal with that as well. Also from that, it is a pretty looking game, as you can see, and the music also adds on to it. Let's talk about its story pacing. Like, I will mix it up with the pros and cons, and in between. Like, the story was kind of good in a sense, but it kind of drags a lot at the early stage. Like, Act 1 is way longer, and it takes way long to, like, in a sense it doesn't really progress the story that much. Like, you just run around doing absolutely nothing pretty much, you know? Like the RPG, go there, do this, get there. Those typical RPG quest has also in this game, but unfortunately it is the main story quest that you have to deal with. Yeah, like the characters are online, it's not that remarkable or anything. There is one character that I liked, but that's pretty much it. Like, after that it was kind of meh. Like, the dialogue was pretty good, like decent, but some areas it was very awkward. Like I think people tend to overrate this game quite hard. It is an above average game, I would say. It kind of does everything. Yeah. Like, if you played Metaphor Fantasy, that game's facing, and this game's facing is completely light and day, because the story in that one is faced more properly. But in this one, it kind of dragged a lot, I would say. You know, that kind of puts a bad experience, you could say. And as for combat, well, the combat is kind of fine. It is a turn-based combat, but if you pay attention to the mobs and then try to parry, every mob has that weird hold attack you have to deal with, and sometimes the camera pans into a certain angle that is very hard to see where the attacks are coming from, you know? So you have to, like, kind of die once or twice, kind of like Dark Souls, you know? They kill you in a cheesy way, and then you die once or twice and then figure out the pattern, and then you have to parry in the game. Like, the parries from this game is very important, and you have to do that a lot. Instead of dodging, you could dodge it, but parry damage is really good. You can literally beat the game with just parry counter damage, you know? So you have to parry all the attacks the mob throws at you perfectly, and then you will have the counter attack that does really good amount of damage, I would say. In the normal mode, the game is way more tuned, I would consider, because every encounter you will see, the trash mob, even the very mediocre mob you will face, can effectively kill you in the two strikes. Like, 1 or 2 hits you are dead, you know? Like, you can't really tank hits in this game at all, and you don't have a block system in the turn-based combat, so you have to either dodge it perfectly or counter it, right? But like I said, the design-wise, the cheesy attacks makes the fighting a bit frustrating. And you will start to see reused mobs very, very frequent. Like, it happens very fast, and you will start to see the reused mobs very often. It kind of makes the fight more tedious. I wish they had like an auto-play switch system or something to get it over, you know? Like, the combat gets way tedious after a bit. That's what I think. Like, for example, for comparison, Metaphor is Fantasy also kinda hard and tedious combat, but you can just kill the trash mobs really fast if you're a higher level than them. And then I think it had autoplay. I don't remember if it had autoplay or not. But just doing a quick time by even every time, every encounter you will face, like it kind of discourages you to explore a lot because it feels like a time waste, you know. But it's the same mob you face like that 20 times before, and then they will be more tankier sometimes, and then they will put up the armor and stuff on top of them, making it harder to kill, and then they just waste your time, you know. It kind of feels like you are wasting your time progressing through the maps, you know. And then sometimes some areas are too big for its own good. There would be absolutely nothing. And then the teleportation between the waypoints and the flags are not that intuitive. Like, it's harder to navigate the map. The map is abysmal. Like, you have no idea where you are or where you are going. Like, especially when you go into the fight scene, right? It will completely disorient you and then make you forget where you are and where you're supposed to go. You know, at least it happened to me like multiple times. So that is that. Map is kind of meh. Like, there are so many other things I can tell. Like, what else is there? Like, the whole world map is kind of meh as well. Like, it's kind of okay-ish. Like, it's not like a revolutionary or something. People say it is revolutionary, but it's very similar to Metaphor Fantasia. They were realistic graphics, and that's pretty much it. Like, it's an above average game, I would say. Like, $60 if you really want to play it, you could pay for $60, or I would wait for 45 or 30. Like, 30 is a good steal for it, you know? Or if it's available on the Xbox Game Pass, I think I heard it was available, but I'm not sure. So if you can get that there, you can beat this game in a week or so. It's not that long or anything. But then if you have a twist and then it drags for a little bit more before you think it is over. But yeah, but it is a pretty, I think I finished it like in 30 hours or something. Somewhere around there. Like, it didn't take me that long. You know? So if you have troubles with the normal mode, it's definitely better to go for the story mode. Like, story mode is way more manageable. Because the cheesy attack they have and then the insta-give is not really fun to deal with, you know? So that is that. Character-wise, there are 5 or 6 characters you can have. And all of them are, you have your typical mage, you have your assassin, and you have your the fencer girl. It is kind of base, like, and then the mechanics, like I forgot to mention that. The mechanics and the characters have is unnecessarily complicated for no reason. Like, especially this girl and the card girl. Like, I have no idea how the card girl works at all. Like, they bombard you with this information too much at the very early stage. Like, it gives you a full manual of how the character works, and then it doesn't really tell you about other skills either. So you're kind of stuck with the, you know, like the bombardment at the early stage as soon as you unlock the character, and then you're kind of stuck with that, you know. So that is that. I mean, the ending, I think I got the bad ending, most likely. I have to see the other endings to figure that out. It has multiple endings, so you can have the replayability, and the build variety is also there. So you can only control 3 characters, so you will have 2 more in reserve, so you can mix and match and then play with different builds and stuff like that. And yeah, there are so many other broken builds you can build too, completely revolutionizing the game. And I think you should do that. Like the sheer damage the mobs do, like, is higher in the normal difficulty. So it's better if you just get annihilated. It's kinda like Elden Ring, you know? You just run in there, buff 30 times and then annihilate one-shot the boss before the boss even does a move. It's kinda similar to that here too. So that is that. Well, what would I rate? Good graphics, decent music. I mean, good basic. Music is great. Like my favorite is that one music I like, but the rest of them I don't really. It's just a sad piano music like this one. So the story was kind of vague, like it was super vague. I wish the story was more easier to understand, but it is understandable though. So I would say it is understandable at the end, like 75% of the game, like after it's finished, then the story actually starts to make sense. Before that, you have no idea what is going on, like most of the time. Okay, let's go with that score. I would score it there. I will give it a 8. Again, it's a good game if you play it. Like I finished it with continuous streaming, so it's definitely worth playing. But definitely get it on Xbox Game Pass if it's available, or get it on a sale. Definitely worth it. But I would temper your expectations. Like if people say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest game ever," and then this is a game of the year. But I would not approach this game with that my kind of mindset. You will be sorely disappointed. You know? At least I was disappointed. You know? So definitely temper your expectations when you're playing this. And it is a solid 8 out of 10. And I think with that, what else I can say about this game? I think that will be better to have more games like this in a better quality than to have corporate slops, you know. So yeah, I rather take this than other games, but it's not as great as people say it is. So that is that. You know? Like I don't know, I felt that Manahor is way better. Like the character, this game really doesn't explore much about the person characters. Like, for example, this Lume, I have no idea who she was, where she came from, what's her motive, what her family is about, nothing. I don't know anything about her. She is just a mage that bombs people, that's all I know. So, the character exploration is very low. I wish they did that in the first act. Like padding out the characters instead of just we don't know. I don't know very much about that at all. I beat the game, so that's kind of unfortunate, you know. So that's pretty much it. Oh, there is some interesting characters, but unfortunately, I'm not gonna spoil anything about them. But it's kind of a I don't know, it is not that impressive. Like, I am not really impressed by it. Like, that's how I can explain this. Like, if try it, it is an impressive game, in a sense. It tries to be an impressive game, if you know what I mean. But it is not impressive for me, at least. Like, half of the gameplay through, I was getting really tedious about it, you know? Alright, so that's my review. 8 out of 10. Decent game. And I will give it a shot. With that, Alex is signing off. Alright, there we go. That's the review.